Nobody went to the fair.
Tell us, what did you do on your Saturday off?
I didn't go to the fair. I'd like to go on to the fair. Yeah. I watched a lot of other people have to go through what we do on the weekends, but I did. I just hung out with family and enjoyed football and TV, watched all the games, so got a little more sleep than normal.
I know you wanted some of your guys to get rested up and healthy. How does that look in this week?
Much better than we were in the second half of the last game. You know, they're practicing, guys are running around. I thought we had really good energy. Even though it's Monday, it's game week Wednesday to us, just because of when you play on a Thursday. And so Sunday was our Tuesday. Guys came back, had really good energy, enthusiastic about playing. It was a good week for guys to mend up to. We had a lot of guys in the recovery aspect that came back feeling good.
Dave, how have you handled sort of maybe reconfiguring what you guys do offensively during the bye week with the extra time to sort of adjust more for what Jack does?
Yeah, it was hard going into the Syracuse game. You can't change a lot in 3 days of practice, particularly when you're playing at a place where you can't audible and make checks because of the crowd noise that they had. So it was nice to get home and have some time to study what we've done well, things that we can do differently, how to use, obviously the legs of your quarterback differently. And you saw some of that in last week's game, but that was just kind of the beginnings of, what we can do. We're not going to turn into, running triple option, but we do have a quarterback that can do some things and want to utilize that and still want to feed our receivers, running backs, and tight ends. So you'll see it grow probably as it goes, but we got to be careful about doing too much and then not doing things right and executing and playing fast.
In that sense, it was the bye good, well timed in the sense that you had some things that had to get adjusted that are not game week easy to do.
Yeah, it was hard. So it was a great time. I mean, that's the longest I've gone since I've been here without a bye, like to go that many weeks straight. So physically, mentally, all of it, fatigue. It was good to have. Even if Devin was playing, it would have been a good time for us to have a bye, These weeks, because you start, at the end of July, basically with your players, and there's not a lot of time for them just to reset and go spend time with their families and get out of town. So I think it came at a great time, and then for Coach Beck and the offense to be able to tweak things and have a little bit more time to evaluate it and study other people's film.
Are the guys rallying around Jack really well?
Oh, yeah, him and MJ. I think, there's a I think Jack has a lot of poise. He's calm. He's competed in a lot of settings in his career. Nothing's too big for him that way. Doesn't get rattled, and I think that's good for the guys to see. They definitely cheer for him, for both those guys at practice, and they all know they got to do their jobs. And I think that's the biggest thing when you get in these close games, and we've been in a lot of them. When you just do your job well and play fast, you usually come out on top. And when you start trying to do someone else's job and yours, inevitably you get exposed, and that's happened a couple times this year in some one-possession games. And at the same time, we've come back and had a comeback victory doing it the right way. So a lot to learn from and kind of reflect on over the week.
What's kind of been the mental approach as far as, what the goal was at the beginning of the season, and to not maybe lose, to still give hope as far as the season is not over? No,
yeah, I think you have to kind of reassess each week of the season. What do you have left? How can you achieve the greatest things that you can? For us, we're 5-2 with 5 games left. 3 of those are home games. A lot to play for, and so we're just taking it one game, 1 week, 1 day at a time, and kind of focusing on that. If you spend your time on what we could have done, you're not going to get anything out of what's left. And I think there's obviously a lot of banter out there on the past and things like that for all teams involved. But for the team that's actually playing and sweating and fighting, you can't worry about that. You have to worry about, how can I get better? How can I do better than I did the last time out? How can I make one more play, one less mistake? How can I be a better teammate? How can I handle my academic work? And just one day at a time, try to be the best that you can be. That team usually looks really good when the scoreboard is completely filled out at the end of the game. And that's what we're trying to do, is just move forward in a positive fashion.
What are your thoughts on the Tech, what you're facing this week?
Yeah, physical team, really good third down defense. They're number 1 in the league in third down. They're in the first year, with their coach, and you can see that their schemes have advanced as the weeks have gone on. I think the quarterback has a really good arm. He's mobile. And so it's a super experienced football team. When you look on paper, you see a lot of 6th, 5th, and 4th-year players playing for them. So we know they'll come down here, excited to play us, and it's going to be a physical game. And playing Thursday night, you got a lot of people watching you.
By all accounts, Devin has become just a great leader for this team. Has anybody kind of stepped up to kind of help fill that void a little bit, Coach?
Yeah, there's several leaders. Bryson Spees and Grant Gibson offensively, but then within the position groups, there's different guys that you see just kind of rallying the troops. And Devin Carter does a great job with the receivers, and you can hear his energy there behind the scenes talking to guys. And we've been through this before when we had Devin go down and Bailey came in and led us, so we've been through this with some of our older players, and they can lean on that. And those years we didn't just hang up our cleats, we went to work and still won some games.
We saw Devin's mom tweeted out just an update last week. Have you obviously spoken to him, but how he's doing? And
yeah, I just walked off the field with him. He's out there helping the guys. He's coaching. He's taking it all in. I think he's sick of people asking him how he's doing. I mean, he's one day at a time getting better, but he's in a good headspace. He's healing up. Surgery was successful, so yeah.
Last little off topic, but I know you say you always like to at least catch some NFL games. I'm wondering how much you've caught of Icky this year and how much you've seen him improve.
Now, I haven't been able to see a live televised game with him, but we get the NFL film every week. I have watched him. He's playing great. Just happy to hear that they got a win. But yeah, we're proud of him, very proud of him. And I see the things that come out just like you guys do on Twitter, that he's got all these PFF rankings higher than anyone else. So it's awesome. I'm glad he's doing well. I'm sure his family's enjoying the opportunity to be close and watch it.
Dave, what were your thoughts on the quality of defenses y'all had to go through in the league in terms of you played Clemson, you played Syracuse, they went against each other?
And
your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think we had a tough stretch with those 3 in a row. We've played some good defenses this year, and that was a good football game. Watching those two guys play, those two teams fight, and you got to give Clemson a lot of credit for coming back. But as far as who's better, they're different. They're both really good. They do different things and different schemes. One's playing with 4 down, the other's playing with 3 down. So it's hard for me to give you that, but they're both really good defenses.
With your guys, veteran defense, do you ask for more from them now because of the offensive situation that, they've been good all year, but that offense may need a little bit more help than you would have thought at the start of the year?
I don't think that's something I have to ask for. I think they know. I think they're cheering those guys on, but they know they can't give up scores. I think that's the thing. You got to keep it a 1-possession game, and offensively we got to grow and find ways to get in the end zone. On special teams, we've been able in some games to score. In the last 2 years, and so we got to play complementary football right now, like really good complementary football. And offensively, we're settling for field goals. And really both sides of the ball. If we can just improve our red zone performances on offense and defense, you'll have a better scoreboard in a couple games.
When you were off, I guess there's time to self-scout a little bit. What did you when you take that pause and that breath to kind of look at what you guys have done, what do you like best about what your defense has done so far? And what do you look at and say, if we get a little bit more out of this part of the defense, we'll be in better shape?
Yeah, so the defense, in almost every category is excelling. I think, where do we want to get better with red zone defense? We're not giving up explosive plays for touchdowns, So it's drives that get down there, and then you're fatigued, and you've got to make a play. And so we can be better there holding people to field goals or less. We're taking the ball away at a high rate. Our interceptions are great. We're defending the run well. We're really good on 3rd down. So there's a lot of really positive things. Would we like to get more sacks? Yes. But we're getting a lot of throwaways too, and so it's a little bit of a byproduct of missing some tackles in the backfield, but then also offenses, doing a good job of just throwing the ball away and avoiding the sack. That's it. Beautiful day. You guys enjoy. All right.